Hello, today I'm going to do a video on the Twined Basket Kit Burden Style by Traditional Craft Kits. I've cut 4 spokes and a weaver length, and I'm crossed the spokes over each other like this. Now I'm going to start twining by taking the weaver, which I've folded in half like this, and sliding it over these spokes like this. And then when you're twining, what you're going to do is you're always going to take this left hand side and go around the back like this. You could do it the opposite way, but for this project we're going to be doing it so that we take the left hand weaver and go around the back. And so basically what you're doing is you're twisting like this. You're twisting around the next spokes. So we're starting the basket by twining around 2 and pulling it tight like this. And when you reach over to the other side, so we've gone over all, we're going to start going over just 1. So we're going to go behind just 1 spoke, and then, and if the fiber rush untwist it all like this, just twist it back, keep it nice and tidy, and then go around each, pulling tightly and separating the spokes as you go so they're more evenly spaced. Okay. Around like this. We're almost done here. And we're back to the other side here. And then I'll show you up close what it looks like. So we've twined around the first round over 2 spokes and the second round over each individual spoke. I took the time to make sure that the spokes are evenly spaced from the center to the outside, the same measurement on all of the spokes. And now, because we're going to be making a cone shape, we're going to fold the spokes into more of a cone shape. And we're going to carry on weaving and twining 7 more rounds so that we'll have a total of 8. So just continue twining, twisting the rush so it doesn't untwist. And it's going to be a gradual cone shape. So the first round is a little more tricky. So you'll just have to pull a little tighter as you go around. See how I'm twining and then I'm pulling like this to keep the weaving tighter. Okay. Now I'm starting to pick up a little more speed because my shape is established. And And let's stop and see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna do another 4 for this project. But you can see how the shape is taking shape. At this point, it's time to add some more spokes. As our basket is going to start getting wider, the space between the spokes will get too wide and we want to make it tighter. So I've cut them on a slant and I will just slide them in like this carefully and all the way around. It should be easy to slide it down about 4 or 5 rounds. If you have any difficulty, you might need to recut the slant or use a pokey object like a fork, or if you have a tool, an awl. But see how I'm sliding it in pretty easily without a tool. And when you're twining on now, you're just gonna have to be careful and take it easy for a few rounds and make sure that they don't fall out. Now we're gonna weave some more rounds around 2 spokes just to get these secured in place like this. And I can show you how to add more weaver because we're going to run out. And we're gonna keep pulling out like this to keep our nice gradual cone shape. So here it's getting shorter. So let's see if I can get one more. And then I would just see this one, I would just end this to inside and then take this one and end it to the inside. And then pick up a new weaver, and there's different ways to add weavers. So we could add a weaver by taking the end of the weaver and poking it down here, and another one down here, down in here, and then you would just carry on and poking it down here and then carrying on. But if you've ended them both in the same place, another way you can add a weaver is just folding another length in half and slipping it over the next spot and weaving on like this. And that works just fine. And like I said, we're gonna do several more rounds, around 2, before we split and start twining each single one. And of course, whenever I do a video, it seems like my dogs come inside and sleep and like to snore. Today was a snowy day, and so I took them for a walk in the snow, and they are kind of tired. So if you hear a strange noise in the background, it is my dog snoring. I think there's enough room now that we can do twining around each single one. And so as you do that, just kind of space it out with your fingers. Things will be a little tight for this round. And then, of course, it looks like I'll be adding more weaver again soon. And since it is tight, take care to keep that nice gradual angle right here instead of letting it pull in. We're still pulling out. And keep twining around like this, around each spoke. We've twined along, and now the distance between the spokes is getting wide again. So we're going to add some more spokes, just as we did before, sticking them in next to the other spokes down about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe 5 or 6, however it feels, so it's sturdy. And add one to the side of each spoke, as before, taking your time. When you've added all of the new spokes, continue to twine around both spokes for several rounds until there's more space to twine over each one individually. So just carry on twining around both spokes, keeping the angle of the basket nicely flared out. I've done enough twining around both the spokes. Now there's enough space to start going around the single spokes. So if you want to know the exact steps for this kit and measurements, you can purchase it at traditionalcraftkits.com, and then you'll know all the details on how to make this project. So we're going to go around each spoke, twining around for several rounds. And as you twine, try to spread out the spokes and keep them nice and even, and watch the shape of your basket. As I continued to twine the basket, I started to pull the edge in a little bit so that it wasn't flared out too much at the top, so it started to go back in a little bit. So you could have whatever shape you want, but that's what I decided to do. And now at this point, let's do a design. I brought the two weavers in, and I'm just gonna clip them right just like that. And then just take some colored material. We have some twine here, and just start like usual by slipping over slipping over the spoke, and then starting to twine with the twine like this, and do a few rows of that. And you can do whatever design you want. You can follow what's in the booklet or come up with your own design, but this just gives it a nice little decorative feature. And so I'll just continue twining for a few rounds and then come back and show you the process. I decided to do the design like this, and then I did some more rows of the natural. And so now we need to do the rim binding. So what I did was I cut a couple lengths about the same around with an overlap, and then just anywhere here, insert the length of weaver, which we will use to wrap the binding. From the inside of the basket, insert the binding cord under the top of a spoke that's bent over, and pull through. Holding the two rim rods here, and then go back around like that and go through again. We're basically going to be stitching on the binding. And this time we're going to move over. It's tricky at first, you know, everything's difficult at first. Then we're going to move over to, if I can find the end here. We're going to move over to the next one and pull through. So that there are 2 on each bent spoke top. Like this. Okay. You might have to adjust things as you go, like that. Okay. Just twist it, untwist that. Find the end again. It'll get easier when you get more, and then from the back, go through, under the bent spoke top, pull carefully. This one is being tricky. Let's see. Okay, and then we move on to the next one. Inserting from the back under the next bent over spoke. Now it's starting, see, it's starting to hold together better. So I'm starting to make progress on my binding. Some hints are that you'll want to take a minute to untwist your binding cord by running it through your fingers. That helps. Also, it works better when the tops of the spokes are longer. Like some of these short ones, you know, are a little bit more difficult to deal with. It depends on basketry, you know, sometimes you end up with longer and shorter. Nothing's perfect. But you can see that on the inside, it doesn't really matter because all you're trying to do is secure this edge and do your best because it takes a little effort. It's not easy. This is a burden basket after all. So just take your time and slowly move around the basket, stitching around, catching the spoke top so that it is securely attached. So I'm coming to the end here and I only have a couple more, doing quite well here. And so we'll take the end, stick it under the bent stake, pull tight, go back around again. It's easier when you hold it in your lap instead of out like I am to show you. And then pull tight. Move to the next bent stake end. Pull tight. Come through again. Pull, oops, let's see, I didn't catch it. No. Pull through again. There, I got it now. Secure. And then we're coming around to the last. Find that hole right there. Come through. I'm gonna overlap a little bit here. And go back through. I'm going to overlap and go through the one that I already did, the first one. Pull tight, come through again. Pull tight. And then I'm gonna see how I feel about that. Feel like that's probably good. So now I'm going to come through again in the same spot and come through, kind of like make a little it's twisted there, and then do that again. We just want to make it secure so it's not going to come unraveled. So do it as many times as you feel like you need to. Come through. And then I can go through to the other side. Secure it like that, and then I feel like that's pretty good. Maybe I'll come through like this one. Okay, that's good. And then again, just clip these like that, clip off that, and any bits on the inside you can clip however much you feel comfortable with clipping. And there we have made the burden basket. You can take any leftover string also and make a little tie so you can hang on the wall. And I was just thinking that it would be a cool thing to put your put decorations in, or you could even write out your worries or your burdens and put them in there so that they're held somewhere safe. See, there's a tie. And maybe check in later and see how many of the things that you worried about, if you've overcome them and you no longer worry about those things anymore. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and you will give making this basket a try. Get the kit at traditionalcraftkits.com. Thank you. Bye.